Good morning, dear students. Greetings and good wishes to you all. I always wish for your good health and beautiful smile. I hope you and your loved ones keep good health and staying safe. The six best home doctors you should always be very close, that is sunshine, water, air, exercise, meditation, and diet. Kindly focus on all these home doctors at home. Stay home and break the chain and mask up whenever you go outside and maintain physical and social distance. Now, in this lecture talk, I shall discuss on isolation of microorganisms. Okay, this is the continuation part of Introduction to Industrial Biotechnology. Let us go through industrial strategy for isolation of microorganisms. The first step here, isolation of microbes from the natural source like air, water, soil, and litter. By using all these natural sources, one can go for the isolation of microbes. Okay, then identification of desired microbes, characterization of the microbes, screening of desired microbes, inoculum preparation, strain improvement, and then development of fermentation process. Okay, so all these things you'll study again in upstream processing and downstream processing in detail. Now, after isolation of bacteria, it is important to identify the bacteria based on their characterization. Identification is done with the help of following characteristics, like one will study about the morphology of the microorganisms like forms, elevation, that is height, margins, size, shape, surface of the colony like texture, whether the texture is glossy, smooth, slimy or dry. All those will be checked. Further, this isolated organisms also will be subjected to the some of the biochemical tests like gelatin hydrolysis, antibiotic sensitivity test to understand the antibiotic spectrum, then starch hydrolysis. Okay, further, one will also do the IMVIC test. The term IMVIC is an acronym for each these tests. For example, I is for indol test, M is for methyl red test, then V is for Voges Proskaf test, then C is for citrate test. So all these types of biochemical tests will be done. Apart from that, other biochemical tests are also available. Those also can be done during the characterization of the microorganisms. As I told in the previous slide that we can observe the morphology of the microorganisms. Okay, first we'll focus on colonies. We need to observe the colonies, shape, size, elevation, edge, surface, opacity, and consistency. Okay, each colonies you can see here, they differ. Okay, this is in a mixed population. When you go to a pure culture, only one type of colony or organisms will grow in the pure culture, whereas this is a mixed population can be seen. So this type of mixed population, one will not be, we have culture cannot be used. Only one type of culture will be isolated and that will be cultured. So now let us go to the diagrammatic representation of morphology of the colonies. Like here you can see this is the form of the colony: circular, irregular, filamentous, rhizoid. Elevation like raised, convex, flat, ambonate, then reticulum form. Then when you go to the margins or edge, entire, then undulate, then filiform, then curled, then lobate. So these are the some of the different colony margins. Even some of the colony also gives odor. Some microbe produce a characteristic smell which sometimes help in identifying the microbe. Okay, so all these things you'll study under characterization. The same thing here, the sketch of the colony forms, okay, then colony margins, then these are the colony elevations. Further, let us also understand in detail about the isolation of bacteria. It is very important to identify the specific bacteria by going through all their characteristic process like morphologies, what kind of media they use for their growth, means what they like, in which is a suitable nutrient media for the microorganisms. One has to understand that one. Then we should go to the cultural characteristics. Then additional recognized biochemical tests, profile of microbial strains one has to build, then rapid identification methods can be done. Okay. Now, in this isolation process, we'll do at industrial level different steps like screening, then strain improvement, then inoculum development, and then finally we'll focus on the fermentation. As you have already heard, the word fermentations come from the Latin word that is fervere, which means to boil. It, this particular word originated from the fact that early at the start of wine fermentation, Louis Pasteur observed that observed that gas bubbles are released continuously to the surface, giving the impression of boiling. Okay, that terminology we call that process of formation of the boiling as fermentation. Okay, the first one, this particular comparison was given by the Louis Pasteur. First step in industrial biotechnology is obtaining the right organism that can yield the maximum product. Okay, so if you want to obtain the right organisms means we need to isolate properly, right? Isolation of the diverse environmental sources is very important, and these isolated organisms are subjected to screening for specific products. To obtain the specific products, the organisms will be subjected for the screening. We'll check here whether this organism is capable to produce our desired product or not by going through the screening methodology. Here, newly found organisms which are subjected to strain improvement trials to increase the product yield. Here, strain improvement means here we are increasing or enhancing the microbial activity of the organisms. Further, the improved microorganisms are subjected to bioprocess optimization to obtain the products at the large scale. Then, what do you mean by bioprocess optimization? It is a methodology of finding out optimal conditions for the best yield of a product under industrial conditions. Okay, then in the industrial biotechnology, preservation of cultures or maintenance of culture is also very important part. So when you go to the preservation of the cultures, there are a variety of methodology will be there for the preservation of this particular cultures, like serial transfer, then preservation under oil, lyophilization, storage over silica gel, preservation on paper, preservation on beads, liquid drying, cryopreservation, okay, then preservation in liquid nitrogen. So these are the some of the techniques where we can maintain or preserve the cultures for long period. Now let us understand one by one the isolation of microorganisms. You may get in the examination question briefly explain the isolation of microorganisms. Okay, so the first and foremost very methodology for the isolation of microorganism is serial dilution method or a technique. Okay, then pour plate method, spread plate method, streak plate, enrichment culture, special isolation methods, then baiting techniques. Okay, let us go one by one all the isolation methods. So what is the serial dilution method? In this serial dilution method, a pure culture may be obtained. Okay, a single type of organism can be obtained from a sample containing a mixture of bacteria by serially diluting the sample with sterile broth in culture tubes. Okay, here serial dilution increases the cell concentration in the tubes. Finally, diluted tube is cultured by transferring to medium and well isolated individual colonies can be separated, okay, or obtained. Now let us go through here serial dilution technique. So as I told here, what is a serial dilution? A serial dilution is a series of sequential dilutions used to reduce a dense culture of cells to a more usable concentrations. Okay, here once the culture has been diluted, and this can be spread on the agar plates. These agar plates allow the individual bacteria cells to be separated spatially. So how to do this? How to do this particular serial dilution method? First, the serial dilution method can be applied to the sources like soil, water, okay, and to the litter. This serial dilution methodology cannot be applied to the air sample. So to the air sample, then what to do? You can take a culture plate with the media, then that can be wherever you're feeling that the airborne microorganisms I want to isolate, go to that particular place, take a culture plate with the media, open the lid and stand there near opposite to the wind and keep that plate open for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, immediately there only you need to close the lid and bring that in the laboratory, place in the incubator. Then after 24 to 48 hours, you can see the microorganisms growth. And that specific area organisms you can study through air exposure methodology. That is an isolation of microorganisms through air exposure. Now in serial dilution, this serial dilution technique we are going to apply to the soil sample, water sample and the litter sample. If you have a soil sample, you are going to weigh 1 gram of soil and that will be dissolved in the 10 ml of sterile distilled water. Okay, because the water should be free from any contamination, so that I want to isolate the organisms which are present in that soil sample. Okay, wherever you feel like there are some disease caused by that particular area, get the soil sample, weigh 1 gram and dissolve in the 10 ml of distilled water. Okay, and if you want to do that in a bigger container, then weigh 10 gram of soil sample, add 100 ml of distilled water. Then if you want to do with the water sample, get the 1 ml of the sample and 9 ml of the distilled water. Okay, in the beginning in this particular mother stock, or if you're going to prepare for the 100 ml, 10 ml water sample, okay, which for sample you want to check, 10 ml water sample, then 90 ml of distilled water. For example, if you want to check in that particular lake or river what type of microorganisms are residing, and if we are feeling like some waterborne disease, get the water sample. From wherever you get the water sample, they only need to close the lid, okay, so that other contamination should not happen. Get the water sample, bring to the laboratory, take 1 ml of the water sample, add 9 ml of distilled water, and you can preserve this as the mother stock. From this mother stock, take 1 ml, add to the this first test tube. So to do this particular serial dilution technique, you need around 9 test tubes. Okay, but here I have showed you 6 test tubes. Okay, 9 will be there, but up to 6, that is more than enough. Each test tube must be compulsory, labeled with 10 raised to 1, 10 raised to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. Okay. Then add distilled water and subject all these tubes in the autoclave for the sterilization. After the sterilization, once the water is cooled down in the aseptic chamber, okay, you are going to take 1 ml of this sample from this mother stock and add to this 9 ml of distilled style water. Then it becomes 10 raised to 1. Okay, you have diluted here one time. Then mix the sample thoroughly. From this, take 1 ml sample, add to the 9 ml of style water, and it becomes 10 raised to 2. Okay, then from here, take 1 ml, shake thoroughly, take 1 ml, add to the next test tube. Then this is 10 raised to 3. Like this, you keep on diluting. You keep on serially diluting, okay, until it gives a very less dilution. You can go up to 10 raised to 6. That is more than enough. After this particular dilution, you will keep all this test tube in the aseptic chamber only. Then you need to collect culture plates. All these culture plates lid must be written with the this concentration 10 raised to 1, 10 raised to 2, 10 raised to 3, 4, 5 and 6 you need to write, and also the date of inoculation you need to write. Once your culture plates are ready with the label everything, then to this particular plate you are going to take 1 ml sample from this and add to this particular culture plate. Okay, so in this particular culture plate, when you take any sample by using the micropipette or glass pipette, that will be there only. So the what are the sample you have put, that sample must be spread, right? So for that spreading, you can take a glass rod. Okay, that we can say that a spread plate method. You are going to spread, because when you put any drop, that will be there only. For the proper separation of the inoculum and the spatial growth of the organism, you need to spread that organism by using the glass rod, or you can also make a cotton swabs, small cotton swabs you can prepare by using cotton swabs in the aseptic condition evenly. Okay, in a uniform direction you can go for spreading the sample by using the cotton swabs. Whereas while doing the serial dilution technique, you must use compulsory a micropipette instead of using the glass pipette. Okay, because if you have a 6 test tube here, you must use compulsory 6 glass pipette or maybe a 6 micro tips for that micro pipette you need to use. It means you should not mix this sample with this sample. Okay, for this test tube to collect the sample, you need to use different micro tip of the micro pipette. Then while taking this sample, change the micro tip and put the fresh micro tip and add sample from this 1 ml to the culture plate. After adding all the inoculum to the culture plate, then all these plate will be kept in the incubator for the further growth and development. Okay, here what has happened after 24 to 48 hours, you can see here the colonies have reduced, right? Here in the first plate and the second plate, there are too many colonies can be seen here, right? Too many colonies count, whereas here less colony count when compared to the previous one, right? And here again less, and here zero colonies. When a sample is plated, each colony that grows represents a single cell or spore in the original sample. It means how we have diluted the sample here. Like that, you are able to see the growth of the microorganisms. Okay. So this is how the isolation of microorganisms will be done through serial dilution. And here the colony count can be multiplied by the dilution factor. For example, I have here 159 colonies that can be multiplied with the 10 raised to minus 3 to understand that particular count. So this is all about the serial dilution technique. I hope you have understood the serial dilution technique. So what is the serial dilution? The serial dilution is a series of sequential dilutions used to reduce a dense culture of cells to more usable concentration. What is this more usable concentration? See, because in the beginning there is a too many colonies, we are unable to focus on the all the types of microorganisms. Okay, when you isolate pure form, okay, very few types of colonies or one or two types of organism, that time that organism will be further selected and subjected to the strain improvement, and that will be very easy. Okay, we are going for the different folds of dilutions in the culture plate. Once the culture has been diluted, it can be spread on the agar plates right here. Agar plates allow for individual bacterial cells to be separated spatially. Okay, so this is the same diagram again, dilutions you can see, and also you can see the growth of the microorganisms. Okay, now let us go through the pour plate method. So what is this pour plate method? This method involves plating of diluted sample mixed melted agar medium. Okay, so what I told here in pour plate method, we are going to dilute sample mixed melted agar medium. It means whatever culture plate will be there, to that culture plate, we are going to pour the media which is mixed with the diluted sample. It means you will take the organism dilution. Okay, for example, 10 raised to minus 2 sample I have here. Okay, or maybe any liquid sample you'll take. Okay, the liquid sample that will be mixed with the melted agar medium. Melted agar medium means that is still in the liquid condition. There should not be very hot also. Such type of melted agar medium will take. To that you are going to mix with the dilute sample. And this sample will be poured onto the empty culture plate. The original sample should be suitably diluted with sterile water or broth to ensure development of isolated colonies. Okay. The agar medium is maintained in the liquid state by maintaining temperature at 45 degrees Celsius, and aliquot of diluted inoculum is added to it. Okay, to the culture medium. The medium mixed with the inoculum is poured into sterile petri dishes and plates are incubated to 24 to 48 hours. Here, the pore plates will exhibit both surface and subsurface colonies, as some cells will be trapped deep in the medium, because here we have mixed the diluted sample inoculum with the melted agar medium. To the melted agar medium, we have mixed the diluted sample and then we have poured to the culture plate. It means earlier what you used to do, you used to take the inoculated media plate. On top of the media plate, you have put the organism. Here, we are not doing like that. To the culture media, to the melted agar medium, which is temperature with the 45 degrees Celsius. To that, we have added the inoculum and then poured to the plate. Okay, and such type of pore plate method, which all exhibit both surface and subsurface colonies, as some of the cells will be trapped deep in the medium. Here one can make out with the organisms which are able to grow within the culture medium in depth, that can be isolated. A combination of seal dilution of the original sample with the pore plate method is suitable for isolation of soil, bacteria, fungi, and actinomycetes. It means what I told here, no sample mixed diluted sample. The diluted sample can be taken from the seal dilution test tubes. What are the test tubes which we have written? 10 raised to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. No? That test tube diluted inoculum you can take, and that can be mixed with the melted agar medium. As you can see, this is the pore plate method, and here this side you have spread plate method. So in this particular pore plate method, we have taken this is the empty plate. To this empty plate, we are going to pour the media. This is the melted nutrient agar. Here, to this melted agar, we have put the bacterial dilution. So this is the conical flask with the nutrient agar melted medium along with the bacterial dilution. This will be poured to the empty culture plate, and you can go for swirling. Okay, you can go for swirling, or okay, here you can go for swirling like this. Okay, then so that proper spreading of the or the mixing of the both media and the inoculum will happen. Okay, spreading will be happening properly here. Then once you keep this in the incubator, in this particular pore plate method, as we have mixed the inoculum with the culture media, the colonies grow in and on the solidified medium. Some of the organisms can grow better on the surface of the culture media. Some of the organisms can grow in depth of the particular culture medium. Okay, so we'll be able to differentiate here the organisms like the surface bacteria and subsurface colonies can be differentiated by using the pore plate method. And here you could see the spread plate method. Now let us go through spread plate method. Here bacterial suspension is suitably diluted, is not mixed with the molten agar medium before pouring. Okay, here we are not mixing the inoculum with the agar medium. After agar medium is properly solidified in the culture plate, here we are going to use the loop full of suspension by using the glass rod or maybe a dropper. Suspension is transferred to the solidified surface of the medium. A loopful suspension is transferred to the surface of the medium here. Then suspension is made to spread uniformly on the surface of the medium, culture medium, with the help of sterilized glass spreader, or maybe a L shape or maybe a triangle shape glass spreader will be taken. By using that, one can spread uniformly the inoculum on the culture plate. The plate is then incubated overnight to find out the individual colonies. As you can see here, this is the spread plate method. Here you can see the culture plate with already with the culture medium. Okay, there is already a culture medium. Here you are going to just inoculate the inoculum to this particular culture plate. You have put here the loop full of inoculum, and to this inoculum by using the spreader. So you can see a triangle shape or maybe L shape of the glass rod can be taken. By using this type of glass rod, by doing like this, spread inoculum over the surface evenly. Okay, whatever with the spreading methodology we are doing here, that is known as spread plate method. Okay, whereas in this particular case We have told pour plate method. It means we mixed with this culture medium only, the inoculum. Okay, we mixed thoroughly here inoculum, then that was poured to the culture plate, where this will allow the surface and subsurface colonies bacteria. Whereas in this case, spread inoculum over surface evenly. Here, the colonies grow only on the surface of the medium. Okay, whereas in the pour plate method, you can see both surface colonies and the subsurface organisms can also be absorbed. So this is about the spread plate method. Now let us understand your streak plate method. So as the name suggests here, what is the streak plate method? In the streak plate method, you will be using the inoculation loop to streak. In the streak plate method, what are we doing here? A small amount of the mixed inoculum is taken with the sterile nichrome wire loop and streaked over the surface of the agar medium in a petri dish. Okay, so then next, streak should be in such a way that it should provide successive dilutions with a single plate. So we are doing the streak plate method by using a specially designed inoculation loop, which is made up of nichrome wire. How many dilutions can be done? Most of the time we can go for 5 dilutions, or even the 4 dilutions can also be done. 5 dilutions can be effected in a single plate, and each subsequent streak thinning out the inoculum from the first streak. On incubation of the plate, in the final individual colonies are likely to appear. It means how are we going to streak here? So, for example, when you take, this is the culture plate. Just imagine this is the culture plate with the medium, and then by using the inoculation loop, first you are going to put the sample here, then you are going to streak like this. Okay, then you'll expose to the flame, cool down, then the same inoculum you'll take, and then you are going for the streaking like this. Then again expose to the flame, cool down, then you can go for the streaking like this. Expose to the flame, cool down, then you can streak like this. So this is the streak plate method. In this particular streak plate method, every time you are going to do the many streaks by using the inoculation loop. On incubation of that kind of culture plate, in the final step, individual colonies are likely to appear. It means here in streak plate method, you are going for the diluting that particular organisms in a streaks. Here, pure cultures may be obtained by transferring cells, organisms from the individual colonies to the agar lands you can preserve. As you can see here, this is the first streak. Here the organisms we have streaked here by using the inoculation loop. Again, the next streak can be seen here. Again, the next streak can be seen. Again, the next streak, and ultimately you'll be able to see here the isolated colonies. The streak plate method of isolation was first developed by Leffer and Gafficki. Okay. This particular technique is done by diluting comparatively large concentration of bacteria to smaller concentrations. Okay, earlier there was a huge bacterial organisms were there. After this serial streaking, ultimately we uh, got the individual colonies, so that we can count the microorganisms colony. So that will be possible. Streaking is done with the style nichrome loop over surface of agar medium in a petri dish. The inoculation loop is dipped in the broth and is dragged across the surface in a zigzag pattern. Okay, the procedure repeated with the caution that not to touch the previously streaked sectors. Only the edges we are going to streak, and from this edges you are going to streak. Okay, again from this edges we are going to streak from the each streaks time. Each time the loop gathers fewer and fewer bacteria. Whenever you keep on streaking, that time ultimately you'll be able to get the fewer bacteria or cells until it gathers just single type of organism that can grow in the form of colony. The plate should show the heaviest growth in the first section, right? And in the second section will be very less growth and few isolated colonies ultimately you'll be able to see. While the final section will have the least amount of growth and with the isolated colonies. So such type of isolated colonies will be selected for the further industrial strain improvement, and for skinning methodology one will be using. It means instead of going through this mixed population of the organisms, we are serially diluting the organisms through streak plate method. Now next one is enrichment culture. Okay. Here the special culture method where an environment is created to favor a specific group of microorganisms. Here introducing a specific nutrient and by modifying their pH and temperature will be able to isolate the organisms. The conditions will be unsuitable for majority of the microorganisms which are to be eliminated by using enrichment culture. For example, some of the organisms can grow in certain pH and some of the organisms cannot be able to grow in the other different kind of pH. For example, nitrobacteria can be obtained by inoculating soil with a slant solution containing sodium nitrate chemical and at the pH 8.5 and incubating it in air in a dark incubator at 25 to 30 °C, this nitrobacter will be able to grow. In this culture medium, when you provide this, so specifically this enrichment chemical, the nitrobacteria is capable of oxidizing nitrates and presence of nitrate favors the growth of this bacterium, where other organisms are unable to grow in this condition. Further, let us go through the selective enrichment media where we can go for isolation of Vibrio cholerae from cholera patients. Most intestinal vibrios grow at the surface of culture broths because of the need of oxygen at the pH 8 to 9. This pH retards many of the bacteria retards many of the bacteria associated with the vibrios in fecal matter. Vibrio cholerae metabolizes peptone and hydrolyzes egg. Thus, alkaline egg peptone solution will be given to the organisms when we are going to grow the Vibrio cholera organisms. And here, this peptone solution and the egg alkaline egg peptone, which is inoculated with the feces of cholera patient, which gives rise to almost pure surface growth of Vibrio cholerae. Okay, the surface film gives pure culture of the bacteria. So in this enrichment culture, the medium will be enriched with the one particular specific nutrient which favors the growth of the specific microorganism. So that is one of the enrichment culture for the isolation of microorganisms. Next one will focus on special isolation methods. Here, the selective media with the chemical which can suppress unwanted microorganisms. Okay, and that will makes us to isolate the specific microorganisms. For example, rose Bengal. Rose Bengal will be added in the MRBA, right? Martin's Rose Bengal, agar, we say, right? MRBA. The addition of the Rose Bengal to the culture media, this will allow the growth of only the fungi microorganisms from the soil sample and the air sample. It means this Rose Bengal chemical suppress the soil or atmospheric bacterial growth. So this is the special isolation methods. This chemical will inhibit the growth of the bacterial organisms. And further, one more example, crystal violet or brilliant green. This particular chemical inhibits gram-positive bacteria and help in the isolation of gram-negative bacteria from sewage. So this can be known as special isolation methods or techniques which was built for the isolation of the microorganisms at the industrial level. When we'll understand all this, when we go for the characterization of microorganisms, we'll be able to understand what type of organisms can be grown in what kind of culture medium. Another example, sodium azide. This inhibits cytochrome oxidase and therefore inhibits organisms which are of cytochrome system. and allows the lactic and acid bacteria which lack cytochrome system to grow. Okay, these are the some of the special isolation methods. Further, on the differential medium, as the name suggests, this medium are able to differentiate the different types of microorganisms. Okay, for example, in the same medium, we'll be able to grow two types of bacteria like E. coli and Aerobacter aerogens. On a differential medium, in this particular media, this media is the EMB media. EMB means that is eosin methylene blue. This is the agar medium, eosin methylene blue agar medium, which are favorable to for the growth of the Escherichia coli. This Escherichia coli, which is a coliform bacteria, produces colonies on this EMB media with brilliant green metallic sheen. Okay, on the same medium, we can also see the growth of the Aerobacter aerogens, which produces pink colonies with dark centers. Okay, so this is the different method of isolation of bacterial organisms by using special isolation methods. Next and last technique, that is baiting technique. This is important. Pay attention. You can write also because this will be asked for 2 marks and 5 marks. Here in this baiting technique, the isolation of Phytophthora species from soil is affected through the baits. Okay, baits means trap or maybe a hook. Okay, we are going to trap the organisms by using different sources like apples, green watermelon, okay, and other different kind of like seeds, mustard seeds, okay, like that. We are by using different source, we are able to trap the some of the microorganisms by burying those samples in the soil for 4 to 5 days. It means when you go for the fishing, you'll be using the some worms, right? Of your well fishing to, we are going to trap by using different baits like that. Here, to isolate the organisms, we are using the different varieties of baits. For example, Pythium species can be isolated from soil by burying mustard or corn seeds in the soil. Burying rice kernels, that is straw, in soil helps in the isolation of Drescheleria oryzae from soil. Water molds are often isolated on baits of killed insects floated on a sample of water. Okay, if you want to isolate that specific water borne some of the bacteria, means you can just float to that particular killed insects on some support, and there the water molds you are able to isolate. Other example, keratinophilic bacteria, which are responsible to isolate, can be isolated by burying hair in soil as a bait. If you want this keratinophilic bacteria, that can be isolated by burying hair in the soil as a bait. Okay, if you, when you take a hair and put that in the soil and just keep in the soil for 4 to 5 days, after that they will be able to see the growth of the keratinophilic microorganism. It means by using different baits, we are able to grow the we are able to not grow, we are able to isolate the organisms. For example, here we use the hair, this is the bait, right? And here we use the killed insects, that is a bait. And here we use the rice kernel, this is a bait. Okay, then here we use the mustard or corn seeds, that is a bait. Okay, to conclude, what is this baiting technique? It is a technique used in isolation of industrially important microorganisms. Why? To obtain the high yield product, we are going for different isolation methods. It is a technique carried by burying certain food items like apples, watermelon, mustard seeds in soil to isolate certain species of organisms. Other than all these baits, we can use the soil and rice kernels and etc. can also be used. Example, Phytophthora species is isolated from soil by burying piece of apples or melon in soil for 4 to 5 days. So this is all about the baiting technique. You can see here Phytophthora species. If you want to isolate, you can take an apple, okay, and by using this apple, you can go for isolation of the Phytophthora species. By using the onion, you can go for isolation of Aspergillus niger. Okay, so this is one. So it means this apple and this onion, which is going to act like a baits. And here, by using the hair, when you bury the hair in the soil for certain days, here you are able to isolate the keratinophilic fungi from that particular source. Then even the water molds. The water molds can often isolated on the beds of killed insects. We can just float the killed insects on the water sample. Then after 4 to 5 days, you'll be able to find over there water molds. So these are the some of the baiting techniques which are used to trap or which are used to isolate the microorganisms. I hope I made myself clear to you about the isolation of microorganisms at the industrial level. I, Dr. Pratibha KS, signing out for the day. Stay tuned with me. I'll be back with some more videos. Thank you everyone for watching this video.